Hello, beautiful people. Welcome or welcome back to Alexis Faye Yoga. I am so very glad that you've decided to join me today. I've got a fun flow for you focused on balance and the muscles on the bottom of the feet. Now, if that sounds good to you, roll out your mat, hit the like and subscribe buttons down below, and we'll flow right into it. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to another week of yoga. Sending that right foot back. Now we will begin our practice with some happy elephants. Heel toeing the feet out so they're about twice hips distance. We'll turn the toes out slightly and then extend the arms out nice and wide to a T. We'll twist to one side and then twist through center to the other. Letting the arms swing of their own free will. They can come around to gently tap the body or they can stay out to the sides. Let the arms run out of momentum, coming to rest by our sides. Walk the feet in underneath of the hips. With a big breath in, we'll reach the arms up to the sky. With an exhale, we'll cactus the arms. Pull the elbows alongside the shoulders. We'll draw those shoulder blades in together so we have a lot of space across the front of our chest. And wiggle the fingertips out nice and wide. With our next inhale, we'll send the arms back up towards the sky. With our exhale, we'll swan dive, bowing at the chest and folding forward. We'll take a little bit of time here to wiggle out in our forward fold. Maybe nodding the head yes, and shaking the head no, or grabbing for opposite elbows and finding a sway side to side. Or maybe even walking or pedaling out the legs. Then with our next in-breath, we'll move to a halfway lift, bringing the fingertips to the shins or to the thighs, reaching forward with the top of the head, flattening out the back and engaging the core. With our exhale, we'll bow forward again, nodding the head yes, shaking the head no, letting the head be heavy towards the floor. And we'll do the same with the arms, allowing the upper body to just hang here. Now we'll add a little more bend to the knees and start to tuck or roll the pelvis under. And we'll continue that rolling motion up the spine, ragdolling our way to standing. The chin will be the very last thing that we lift in our roll. Just take your time getting there. And then we can lift the shoulders and roll them up and back. Or you can find little half circle rolls to the neck. Wiggling out to reset. And then with our in-breath, we'll circle the arms up overhead again, reaching to the sky. Exhale to our cactus. We can start to find a baby back bend here if you would like, or you can keep the eyes forward. Inhale to send the eyes and the hands back up to the sky. Now we're going to lift the heels up off the floor, coming up onto our tippy toes. And with our exhale, we'll drop the heels back down, sweep the arms, bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift, nice flat to back. Exhale to fold. Drop the fingertips down. We'll start to bend at the knees as we lift the heels up off of the mat again. Coming up onto our toes as we start to tuck and roll into a ball in our toe stand. Now you can keep your fingertips down, or you could start to wrap the arms around the legs. You can even start to tuck chin to chest and roll in nice and tight. We'll drop our hands back down in front of our feet. Inhale to press into the hands, press into the toes, lifting the heels as we send the hips up towards the sky. And then drop the feet back down nice and flat to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. This time we'll reverse swan dive the arms. Reach the hands out to the sides as we sweep them up to the sky. Lifting onto the toes, bring the heels up. Almost like they're gonna stack over the toes. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Now we can stay here where we are. This can be a big stretch along that plantar fascia, and it can be a lot for the muscles. Or we can start to bend at the knees and start to squat down all the way back to the ground. Finding that egg shape, that ball shape. Wrap the arms around the legs. And then we'll reverse, unwrapping the legs at the arms. And we'll take our time, making our way back up to standing, trying to keep the heels up as high, as long as we can. Coming back together here. We'll drop the heels down and wiggle out at the top of our mat. With a big breath in, send the arms up. Exhale to our cactus, optional baby back bend. Inhale to send the eyes forward, the arms up, and then we'll sweep the arms out to the sides as we bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Engage through the core. Exhale to fold, drop the hands down, step, hop, or float the feet back for your plank pose. Spread those fingertips out nice and wide. We'll shift forward. Exhale to chaturanga all the way down to the floor. Flip the feet so you're pressing into the tops of the feet. We'll send the hands forward and then out from the top corners of our mat so we can tent up onto the fingertips. Press through the tops of the feet and through the hips. With an in-breath, we'll find our extended cobra pose. Lifting the chest, lifting the eyes. Exhale to soften down. We'll do 2 more breaths like this. Inhale to lift up, take the eyes forward. Exhale to soften. One more time. Inhale to lift. This time really drawing those shoulder blades down the spine to find engagement through the back body. Exhale to lower back down. We'll slide the hands in so they're underneath of the shoulders. We'll tuck the toes under. Press up. And then send the hips up and back for our down dog. We'll wiggle out in a way that feels right. We can pedal out the legs. We can swivel out the hips. And then we'll send our left leg up to the sky. Circle the ankle around in one direction, and then around in the other. We'll bend at the knee, draw knee to nose as we round and shift forward, stepping that left foot to the top of our mat. We'll bring a full breath in to look forward, and an even larger breath back out to slightly soften the hips towards the floor. And then we'll drop our right knee down, untuck the toes. With our in-breath, we'll circle the arms up overhead. And then an exhale to press the hips forward to our low lunge. We'll take a little time here, softening the hips forward, lifting long through the top of the head. Now with our exhale, we'll bring our right hand down to the mat beside our left foot. We'll reach the left hand up towards the sky or just beyond our body, finding a gentle twisting here. Exhale to circle that left hand down and around to frame out the front foot. We'll tuck the right toes under, so we're lifting back up to our runner's lunge. And we'll find a little forward and back shifting motion to give us the momentum to pop up onto our left leg and lift our right back behind the body. Now we can keep our peace sign, our pointer and middle fingers down to the mat as our kickstands. Or we can start to lift up, finding our warrior 3 with hands at heart center, or with our hands airplaned behind the back, squeezing those shoulder blades in together and lifting our right heel. We're trying to keep the hips squared down to the floor, so we're not twisting open to one side or the other. Our back is nice and flat. And then we'll start to bring our right knee in, and we'll set it down beside the left. Now wiggle out, reset. And then again with an in-breath, we'll circle the arms up overhead. Exhale to our cactus, optional baby back bend. Inhale to send the arms up. Exhale, sweep the arms out to the sides as you bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands down, step, hop, or float the feet back, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga to an up dog or a cobra. And then we'll send the hips up and back for our down dog. Wiggling out again in a way that feels right. And then when you're feeling ready, go ahead and send your right leg up and back. Circle the ankle out in one direction and around in the other. We'll draw knee to nose, rounding as we roll up the spine and step our right foot through. Full breath in. Even larger breath back out. Drop the left knee down, untuck the toes. Inhale to sit up. Reach the arms to the sky. And then exhale, we'll press the hips forward, finding our low lunge. Taking some time here to soften into those hips. Now with our next exhale, we'll bring our left hand down beside our right foot. Reach the right arm up or just past the body for a gentle twist. And with our exhale, we'll circle our right hand down and around, frame out the front foot. We'll tuck the left toes under, lifting back to our runner's lunge. We can find that forward and back shifting motion to help us pop up onto our right. Again, we can keep the fingertips down, or we can start to lift, finding our warrior three. We can have hands at heart center, or we can sweep them back behind the body and draw those shoulder blades in together. Good. Now we'll start to bring the left leg in, set it down beside the right, and wiggle out. Reset. We'll make our way back to the top of our mat. With a big breath in, send the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the waist, bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Plant the hands down. This time, maybe try hopping back to your plank. Put a nice big bend to the knees and pop the feet back. And we'll shift a little further forward. Chaturanga to our up dog or our cobra. And then send those hips up and back for a down dog. We'll pedal out the legs, we'll wiggle out the hips. Now we'll walk the hands a little bit closer to our feet, adding more of a bend to the knees. We can bring the abdomen closer to the thighs, and then maybe extend the legs a little bit longer. And then we'll start to shift further forward, bringing the shoulders over the wrists, gripping with the fingertips. We'll add a bend to the knees, coming onto the tippy toes, so that we can float our knees over top of the mat, finding our floating tabletop, pressing the hands into the earth. We want wide shoulders. We want a nice, solid, flat back. And we'll drop the knees the rest of the way down. Exhale, we'll curl into a child's pose. Now you can always take your knees further away from each other for a wide-legged child's pose. Or you can soften the chest onto the thighs. Pressing into the hands. We'll start to walk the hands into the body so that we're sitting up on our heels. Now drop the hands down in front of you so you can lift up the feet. We'll tuck the toes under and then sit up again. Back to stretching out that plantar fascia. Little muscles along the bottoms of the feet. Now this may be enough of a stretch of a pose here for you. And if that is so, you can sit here and focus on the breathing, dropping the shoulders further down the back. If you would like to add a balance element, you can drop the fingertips down to help you rock back onto the toes. Now we want to stack the heels as much over the toes as we can, lifting the knees. You can bring hands to heart center here. You can keep your fingertips down to help with the balance. Good. If you have your knees up, you can drop your fingertips and slowly drop them down. We'll untuck the toes and come to our tabletop pose. Nice flat back. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips with an in-breath. We'll shine the chest forward, take the eyes up. With our exhale, we'll curl in the spine, arching up through the mid-back, bringing chin to chest and tucking the hips under. We'll move back and forth with our cat-cows, moving with our breath. And then back to our tabletop again. We'll come back to tucking our toes under, and we'll lift the knees to hover over the mat. Floating tabletop, engaging through the core, drawing the belly button in and up, pulling it towards the spine, finding a lift in the abdomen. Pressing the hands into the earth to rise strong through the core. And drop the knees the rest of the way down. We'll cross the legs behind the body, rolling through and moving to our boat pose here. So engaging through the core, reaching the toes long out in front of the body. We can have a bend to the knees, or we can have the legs more straight. We want a long spine, reaching back with the top of the head. Continuing to take some nice deep breaths here. And then we'll shift forward, drop the feet down. We'll make our way to a comfortable seated position, whatever that means to you and your body today. Closing the eyes. We'll take a few deep breaths here. Breathing in through the nose and releasing the breath out as an open mouth sigh. Now you can place your hands on your knees with the palms up towards the sky, or you can bring hands together at heart center. But we'll take one last final breath in through the nose. Take a few more sips of air at the top. And then we'll fully let the breath go from the mouth. Thank you so very much for joining me today. It is always such a joy and an honor to get to spend this time with you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Go in love. go in light, go in peace, and go in joy.